Welcome back. Well, we are here with Dr. Guy with Integrative Health Matters here in Tyler, and he's here to give us tips on how to conquer stress, especially during this 2016 election. It's election day. Can you believe it?
Yes.
I know. Yes.
I'm so glad it's here.
I know. We're all glad it's here.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us, a little bit, how do you define stress?
Stress is any challenge. We've talked about it before with anything that makes your body have to arise to the occasion. So it could be physical, it could be mental. It's just anything that brings us down, that keeps us from being happy.
Right.
Yeah, so is stress, can it be good for you? I know it can be bad for you, but is there any good from stress?
Well, there's good and bad,
okay,
Marcus. But I do want to mention one little thing that occurred to me this morning, and that is, number one, you always want to teach. People choose to teach what it is that they really need to learn. And I have to tell you, in all humility, I'm not an expert on how to master stress. So I promise. But my wife, last night we were talking about the election and everything.
Right.
And she said, I bet you 9 months from today, there's going to be the world record on the fewest number of babies that are born.
Hey, she might be onto something. That is too funny.
So the question is there good stress and bad stress?
Right.
Yeah.
And of course there is, because stress we need it for survival. If somebody's chasing you and you're trying to get away and your body is just all geared up for that,
sure,
that's a natural thing. That happens. The problem is, the bad part of it is that there's not always somebody chasing us and our lives are not in danger.
Yeah,
but we're sitting there going, oh my God, I've got to think about this, I've got to worry about that,
Right.
we just get so caught up in things that we think are important, but if you really think about it, if you check it out, they're really not. For example, guess what? Happiness has got nothing to do with how much stuff we have.
So true.
True.
So
that
true.
Is true.
And if you think about it that way, then you can move into the thought process of what is it about me that I can do to change the way I feel about this. So it's a philosophical matter.
Right. So I asked my grandmother the other day, I'm like, how are you doing? She's like, well, to be honest, I'm really stressed out. I haven't been sleeping because the election, of course. My grandfather has the TV on constantly. So what would you recommend to people, in handling this kind of stress?
Yeah.
Well, I speak for myself. You have to get you have to put a lot of thought into it. You have to really study it. You have to figure out what's important, get your priorities straight. And if you just look at something else going on out there and letting that determine what it is that you're personally going to worry about, then you will never have a moment that's not full of stress. And so you think about magic words like gratitude, and friends, and family, and kindness, loving each other, helping each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's technologies that you can really use it. If you undertake an investigation, then you'll run across things like, what is meditation? How does it work? Is that for me? What about other things? What about just taking care of yourself? You can't be out of stress if you don't eat right, if you don't exercise. You know all this.
Yep.
And if you don't take care of your body. So it's all related. Mind, body, spirit. If you're going to be out of stress or even master stress or deal with it, smell the roses.
Stop and smell the roses. I like it, Dr. Guy. I like it. Well, if people have questions, can they contact you?
Integrative Health Matters. That's our Facebook site.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Great
advice.
Lot
of good advice. Exactly.
Thank you.
We appreciate
All right, coming up after the break, we'll get a look at today's forecast in less than 2 minutes.
All right, cloudy skies for us here in the area. What can we expect for the rest of today? A look at your Election Day forecast and the rest of this week, all coming up in about 2 minutes.